Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 17th of September. My name is Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Peer.
And Gary, spring is well underway as we launch ourselves right through the September, October, November, first 3 weeks of December campaign. It's all happening.
Spring has sprung well and truly. It's all happening. The newspapers, the media, everyone's hyping up property, saying that it's a boom, Philip. What do you think about that?
I'm not ready to use the boom word, Gary. I think boom is a kind of word that goes back to 2010, 9 and 8. But this is a good solid market, really good solid market.
Some of the results are boom-like. Let's review what happened on the weekend, Phil, because it was all happening with 9 auctions and we've sold
8 out of 9, giving us a clearance rate, Gary, of
89% against an industry standard of
74%. So we've smashed the industry average again as those towers come up. Brings a tear to my eye looking at that success rate that we're running with, Gary.
It's a beautiful thing, the tears of joy, Phil. Let's talk about some of the results because there were some boomers, some beauties out there. And on Sunday morning,
Phil, before we talk about Sunday, Gary, let's talk about Thursday, because we had an auction on Thursday for villa units in North Road, Clayton.
We did, Phil.
Nice story to that, Gary, because these are 4 villa units that were bought by the vendors 40 years ago.
More than 40 years ago.
More than 40 years ago. Yep. And I love talking about how it's a great thing to invest in real estate. Here's a lovely real estate story. Now, there's an old saying that real estate doubles in Melbourne every 10 years.
You've talked about this. You've thought this through, haven't you?
No, I have. And that's actually an interesting statement about the doubling every 10 years, because more often than not, it's actually correct. Anyway, 40 years ago, the vendors of this property bought the 4 villa units in North Road, Clayton. And I've got to tell you, I don't reckon they spent a cent on maintenance during the entire 40 years.
That's an indictment of the
Anyway, they bought it for $36,000 40 years ago. So theoretically, if we do that doubling every 4
36 goes to 72.
That's the first 10 years.
Yeah.
The second 10 years, 144.
288.
288 the third.
Yep. And $576,000.
$576,000. That's what it should have sold for, Gary. But lo and behold, it sold for $1,195,000.
Doubled again. It doubled 10 years earlier than it should have.
So for those people that are thinking about investing in real estate, there's just a lovely story. Buy real estate, sit on it, and let time build your wealth creation strategy.
And you'd be forgiven for thinking that, North Road Clayton is not necessarily a prestige address, is going to go up rapidly or quickly. And also, we managed that property since the start of our business, Phil. It always was well let and a good return as well. So good story.
Nice real estate story.
Can I move on to the weekend?
You may.
Thanks so much, Phil. We started off Sunday with a big boom auction at number 35 Fitzgibbon Crescent in Caulfield North, Phil. Unfortunately, the price is undisclosed, but it sold for more than $150,000 above reserve.
Breaks my heart not to be able to talk about it, but what a great auction, because it was a beautiful sunny day. It was. And I thought,
brought everybody inside.
I'm not going to hold the auction outside, I'm going to hold it inside.
Think that was wise?
A lot of viewers might wonder why we do this, and we're one of the only real estate agents that do it. And a number of people said, Philip, it's such a beautiful day, why are you holding it inside?
Yeah, indeed.
Well, Gary, sometimes the best selling feature of the house is not its facade. And we held that auction. I think we jam-packed about 150 odd people into this fantastic kitchen meals family room coming up on screen now, with this gorgeous pool all facing north. That was its perfect selling point. So hence, I often pull auctions inside where I think that the best selling feature is inside, not outside on the street.
I liked its facade and would have been just as happy outside. It was very crowded, but it worked.
The other reason is, the truth be known, is that I do have very fair skin, and standing outside on a hot sunny day all day is not good for my skin. So my dermatologist tells me.
And once
again, I use this opportunity. It's been 6 months since I said to the viewers, make sure you're checking your skin for sunspots and skin cancer on a regular basis. And with the good weather coming up, now's a good time to do it.
So was it about the beauty of the home and the internal features, or was it just a selfish real estate agent?
I've got to look after my beautiful skin, Gary.
Work it out for yourselves. We moved on to Emma Street, Philip, in Caulfield South.
Samuel bounced the ball there, Gary.
Did, Phil. That was
a
terrific villa unit, and that one, the price is not undisclosed, I'm happy to say.
Hallelujah.
Reserve on that one was $665,000, Philip, and it sold for $707,000, Phil.
Big result there.
A good result.
Well done,
Leo. Now, we went after that to a property that can only be described in terms of location as magnificent and exquisite, because it's situated in Dundas Place in Albert Park. And some people might think, what the hell are Gary Parent Associates doing in Albert Park?
Well, let me answer that very clearly. What are we doing there, Gary? Well, we did open our St Kilda office at number 55 Inkerman Street, St Kilda, with a clear strategy to reach down to the Bay side. We wanted to head to Port Melbourne on one direction, and we wanted to head to Brighton and Frankston on the other direction. And it's a strategy clearly working, because that was the most incredible house.
It was, again, unfortunately, an undisclosed result, but I can only say that the opening bid was at reserve, and it ran in the many hundreds of thousands of dollars beyond. So that one just went right through the roof. In fact,
200 odd people at the auction there, Gary.
In fact, arguably the first bid would have been probably the vendor's happy reserve, if not anything else. So it just went right through the absolute
That
roof.
had been in the same people's hands for many decades, Gary.
60 or 70 years, and lovely people.
I think they'd said that they had paid £3,200 for that property. So I've got to tell you, that one more than doubled every 10 years.
It went right up there into the stratosphere in terms of price. I can assure you of that, ladies and gentlemen. It shocked us and everybody else, and we sold that in conjunction with finding the best agent. Who found the best agent, we'd like to think, because we just got the most incredible result. And well done to Nikki Janover and Jeremy Rosens on that one.
Great.
Moving on, Phil, there was an apartment in Orong Road, 8333 Orong Road, in the heart of East St
I really
Kilda.
love that building, Gary, because that's on the corner of Hewenden Road in East St Kilda, just near our office. And I can strongly recommend to any investor, and that's putting home buyers to the side for the moment, but any investor, if you can pick up a 1960s apartment in East St Kilda, that is just they're great real estate for the portfolio.
Well-built property, Phil, sold well undisclosed again, unfortunately, as was the final auction of the day in Scott Street in Caulfield South, which I had the pleasure of doing at number 5 Scott. We've got a couple of other houses in that street, so don't be disappointed if you missed that one. But again, one that went for in excess of 20% over reserve. 7 or 8 bidders, ran out of counting, went through the roof. Great result. Congratulations to the seller, and well done to the buyer, because it's hard to get land, Phil, and that one they're going to do something magnificent with.
So, coming back to your original opening proposition, Gary, is it a boom or is it not a boom? There are some boom time results, there's no question.
There's no doubt.
Now, I suppose just so the viewers understand, what is the definition of a boom? I think a definition of a boom really is when all sorts of property, whether it be A grade, B grade or C grade property, when all of those properties are going in excess of the reserve, that's what we call a boom.
That's your definition of a boom.
Well,
it might be a technical economic,
well, there might
somebody
be,
that's got
Gary,
better marks at
but
school.
down at the coalface, we're not calling this a boom yet, but certainly some boom time results and some great activity out there.
As cheeky as I enjoy being, I have to agree with you. I have to agree with you, Phil. There are some great results, and there's some great properties coming up. None better, perhaps, than the one we're in right now, right here in Morris Street.
Well, the question is it Maurice or is it Morris Street? And I was just talking to the vendor. I suppose it depends on which part of France that you do come from, but I think going with the
general. If you don't come from France,
if you
come from Beirut, or if you come from Ethiopia, what would you call it then?
Well, I don't know, Gary, and I think that's just a stupid thing to say.
And coming from France is clever because there's so many French people in this street.
Okay, well, I believe there are some French people in the street. But this is the most fantastic house, Gary, because it's got all of the bedroom and bathroom accommodation any size family would want. But the emphasis here is on entertaining.
Al fresco living.
I walk into this house, and it's a bit like Club Med, really. In fact, if you buy this house, you can cancel all future holidays, because between the undercover al fresco area, the incredible swimming pool, the astro-turfed back garden area, this house is set up for family entertaining at its finest. And the entertaining spaces are amazing. The formal lounge dining room, this incredible kitchen meals family room. It's just a house built for entertaining.
And it's a great street too. One of my absolute favourite streets in the area.
Call it Maurice or call it Morris. The most important thing is to call it yours.
Yes, and coming up on the 6th of October, Phil, Sunday afternoon. Let's talk about this weekend, because we've got, well, not probably one of our busiest ones, but
how many have we got on?
I think we've got about 8 or 9. Let's whip on through them, Phil, because we start off in Beaumaris. Number 1 at 9, Olinda Avenue, Beaumaris. Now, Lemore's been very upbeat and very excited about that property. It is a beautiful home. That one comes up at 10:30. You're going to be journeying out there to Beaumaris, which will be a pleasure, just up the road. And we're looking forward to that auction. We are going to be also doing an auction in Catherine Road in East Bentley. That one comes up at 11 a.m. on Saturday morning.
11 or 11:30?
No, 11 a.m. That
okay,
one.
Interesting.
Yes, we're doing
normally
it
do them on the half hour.
We're doing it together with another agent, Phil, and that's the time that they've chosen, which is fine. Now, at 12:30 p.m. on Saturday, Philip, we are doing an auction for a very well-known celebrity, in fact, actress Michaela Banis and her delightful partner, soon to be married, Michaela, and this is a fantastic property, Phil. It's a very unique property because it's rated as an apartment, but it's really a townhouse. It's nestled at the back of this very, very nice block of apartments situated in Alma Road. This one is at 14355 Alma Road. You've got the honours there.
Lovely.
There's been a lot of interest in that property.
Auctioneer to the stars, I am. Auctioneer to the stars.
Well, Michaela's a lovely lady, and she, for those who haven't seen it, Upper Middle Bogan, I think it's called, Upper Middle Bogan, which
I'm auctioneer to the Upper Middle Bogan.
You are. You always wanted to be that.
I mean, I suppose that's better than being auctioneer to the lower end bogans, but the upper middle bogans, I'm right up there with
There's
them.
nothing bogan about this area or property, Phil, and she plays a great role, by the way. Swears a lot too, don't you, Michaela?
Yeah, I'm going to swear a lot during the auction.
You should,
Michaela.
exactly right.
Yeah.
You should, and you should maybe look a bit bogan, I reckon. Put your cigarettes in your t-shirt top, maybe do it in a t-shirt, Phil. What do
Yeah,
you think?
might do that.
So looking forward to that. Great property, 12:30.
In the Connie jacket.
Yeah,
Remember
there were
Connie
Connie jackets in the old days. Dandenong Road, Phil in Windsor, Jeremy Rosen's doing an auction there at 12:30. Glenn Bricker looking after that one, and then we're off to Westbury Street. A great address, apartment 2 at 84 to 88 Westbury Street. That's at 12:30 on Saturday, Phil, and then Almond Street. You're going.
Do you know, I want to go back to Westbury Street, Gary, because I love Westbury Street. Westbury Street is a great address, but it's funny how things change, because when we first got into real estate, Westbury Street was a shocking street.
Well, you know, Westbury Street wasn't a great street, and Grosvenor Street wasn't a great street.
But
now
now
they're both
you've just
great
got to
streets.
love the way things change, because Westbury Street now is a sought-after address. I mean, when you think about where it is, Dandenong Road at one end and Carlisle Street at the other, the parkland, the cafes, the coffee shops, just brilliant. But when I first started,
it was a tough gig.
well, all I can tell you, if you want to know what I used to get in Westbury Street, give me a call. I can't talk about it on GPTV.
You just did. Anyway, look, there's hope for us as well, Phil. If, obviously, if age improves addresses, then maybe it improves people as well. We've got some hope. Almond Street, Philip, you're going to be there at 1:30 p.m. Adam's handling that one, he and Joel.
Single-story villa.
Looking forward to it. And then we're finishing off at 1:30. At the same time that you're in Almond Street, you will be auctioning the stereo with Leo, who is in Moonya Road in Carnegie. That's Saturday, Phil. On Sunday, we've only got 2 auctions on. One's in Takapuna Road in Caulfield South. That's a beauty. Been very popular. Glenn Bricker and Jeremy Rosens is going to be auctioning it. Glenn and Daniel handling it. And we are going to be at 2:30 p.m. Philip, your auction in Brigg Street. A great address, wonderful location.
Yep, had a couple of successes there, I think, a weekend or two ago.
We've had some beauty. Sold a couple of places there. 2 at 39 Brigg Street in Caulfield. That is all she wrote in terms of auctions this weekend, Phil.
So Gary, another big week in real estate. Can I just remind viewers that the year is running out. If you're thinking about selling this year, you really need to jump on the bus
quickly,
because we're already filling our auctions well into November. This year, though, I think we've got 2 really good weekends to the start of December, but we will be auctioning the 3rd weekend in December. Not that you'd necessarily choose that weekend,
and
but
twilight auctions, Philip. That's the other concept for those who are interested.
Perhaps we'll talk about that in the next couple of weeks about our twilight auctions.
A nice concept. But the market is healthy and strong. The results are good. The offerings are pretty good as well. It's all happening. I won't be with you next week, Philip, unfortunately.
Are you going to a conference, Gary, where you are one of the keynote speakers?
I am. I'm
up in
talk.
Surface Paradise.
I can't believe anyone would pay to hear me speak.
You know what? I think when you're back from that, not next week, but the week after, I want to hear all about that, and we'll tell the viewers how you're on the speaking circuit, Gary. People are interested professionally in listening to what you've got to say, because God knows I'm not.
Anthony Robbins, look out. Here I come.
Thanks again for watching GPTV. I'm Philip Kingston.
I'm Gary Pearce. See you in 2 weeks. He'll be back next week.
Have a great week.
Bye now.